This is Lumiterra, a new MMORPG, fully free to play to earn, and also play to airdrop. With the closed beta test coming out now on the 5th of August, they're doing a $1 million airdrop event, but on top of this, it is also play to earn. The way the play to earn system works is generally great. You get token tasks. For example, for this one, we need to turn in 2 eggheads and 2 crimson fur, and in return, we get 25 Lua USD. And Lua USD is just like USDT. It is pegged to the US dollar, and it's exactly $1 per token. So this is a task for $25. Now there are certain things you need in order to get to this point, and I will explain everything in this video. This is a new series I want to start on the channel called White Paper Recap. Look at how neat their white paper looks. We're gonna go through everything. We got the game tutorial, we got the game professions, we got the tasks, which is the token tasks and the task system, and then of course finally the PvE and PvP dungeons, also very, very important. So once you're done watching this video, you will be fully prepared and fully ready to start playing the closed beta test of Lumiterra. But in order to join the closed beta test, you need to get your wallet whitelisted because it is a closed beta test. You don't need to pay anything, you just need to win a raffle. Now there's lots of people doing lots of raffles online, including myself. I've given away 20 codes or 20 whitelist spots already, and we have 10 more to give away. We're gonna do 5 on Twitter and 5 on Telegram. You can find my Twitter and my Telegram in the description down below. There's a link tree. You click that, and there you'll see all the links for the Telegram, for the Twitter, and everything else you might find interesting. Once you join Lumiterra, this is going to be the first quest. At least when I played the previous closed beta test, this was the first quest that I have played in the game. You talk to this Gunnar guy, and he's gonna give you a quest to eliminate one of these metal mutts. Now, the metal mutts are not as easy to defeat as you think, especially when you're low level. At this point, you don't even have a sword, you don't have a shield, you don't have any powers. Very difficult to defeat it. So what you want to do in the very beginning here, and as you can see, once this quest is done, we're gonna get a sword and we're gonna get some experience. So we're gonna go over to the metal mutt and we're gonna start punching it. But the metal mutt is gonna punch back, and it packs quite a heavy punch. So you want to punch 2 times, 3 times max, and then roll. Rinse and repeat until you've eliminated the metal mutt. Once you've done this, the quest is complete. You're gonna get a sword as soon as you talk to Gunnar again, and you're gonna get the experience. You can move on to the next quest. Oh, but forgot to say the most important thing here. Welcome back to the Mind Blow Show. I'm your host, The Inspector. We're trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can help with that. Smack that subscribe button, and you'll never again miss out on videos that go... The videos will go directly to your subscription feed. It's fully free to subscribe. Takes you half a second, and I will very much appreciate it. We're gonna start with how to play the game. Since there's a Ronin migration, it's going to be very simple to play the game. Previously, it was much harder with the OKX wallet extension and everything. So this will not be relevant anymore after the Ronin migration on the 5th of August. It's gonna be much easier. You just jump into the game and you connect your Ronin wallet. As long as your Ronin wallet is whitelisted, you're good to go. So there is an official download link. You can already download it, but you can't play it yet. As far as the game's interface is concerned, you see everything is numbered quite nicely here. We got on number 1 our health bar, we got our energy and our PvP settings at 2 and 3. We got our quests here on the left side, and we can change which quests we want to follow by going to the quest menu. On 6 we have our HUD, and then on 16 we have our powers. Obviously at the beginning levels there's no powers. You do need to level up to get some powers going. Oh, and yes, for those of you wondering, there is a full character customization menu. I wish I could zoom in, but it's not really working here. Now let's talk about the energy. 2 numbers you see where the energy bar is represent the current energy you have and also the maximum value of energy you can have. So once we get to the energy part of the game, we're gonna go a little bit more into detail as to how all that works. For now, you just need to know that the energy is a thing, and you need to be mindful of how much you're spending. If you enable that PvP mode that we talked about, and you don't set it to peace, that means that other players can eliminate you, and you can eliminate other players who also have PvP enabled. This is the mission screen. We saw it before. Very easy to find. Your tasks. You got on the left side your token tasks, your daily tasks, and your bounty tasks. Each task give you different things. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be interested in the token tasks, but we're going to talk about that on the portion of the video where we talk about token tasks in particular, because there are ways to get more token tasks going. There's also an equipment menu. If you go to your menu screen, you're gonna see where the equipment is, the second button on top, and here you'll be able to equip swords, random armor that you find or craft. Then there's the ranking list. Very important. So this will show points of ranking, so players can earn points by either PvE or PvP in the dungeons. Players who make it onto the rankings will receive token tasks. Of course, there's a marketplace which is fully active with Lumiterra items, and this marketplace will now be on Ronin, where you're gonna be able to buy buy and sell items at will. Finally, we have the world map, and this is what it looks like. You're gonna start out down here, just the main section of the game, and the map is quite big. It's quite big. If you watch my previous Lumiterra video, I have mostly stayed in this little area down here. So the map is quite big, and I can't wait to explore it fully. So this game is multiplayer, and you can make a team to play with your friends. It's very easy. This is how you would create a team. You set it to public, and this way anybody can join your team. You can also send requests for specific people, and you also have invitations of other people wanting you to join their team. Now, what is energy? So players need to consume energy in order to gain experience and to obtain resources through combat, gathering, and farming. So each elimination, gather, and plant, and harvest as well consumes energy points. If your energy is at 0, you will not gain any more experience or items from your activities in the game. So that's how it works. You can still play it, but you're just playing for nothing at that point. Now, there are potions to restore energy, and you can either buy them or craft them. This little energy slime is one of the most essential things you need in order to craft energy potions. So depending on which skill you're upgrading, is it combat, is it farming, or is it gathering, they will have a different sort of recipe for this energy slime, but they all serve the same purpose. This is a craft one. It's very simple. Once you've gathered all the materials you need, and you can see for energy slime on the bottom of the screen, you can see what items you will need to craft it. So these are all drops from the monsters inside of the game, because this is the combat energy recipe. Once it's been obtained, you got the energy slime, and you can click the plus button on your energy and just use one of the potions to get some energy back. That's how it works. But how do you obtain these empty bottles? Basically by completing the daily tasks, and it may reward you with empty bottles. For my limited time of playing, I have gotten quite a few bottles. You get quite a few. It's not hard to get at all. So what I love about this game is that you can make more energy. Unlike games like Pixels, where I have to buy more energy. Here, you can make it by gameplay, through gameplay. But, of course, you also have the option of just buying it at the marketplace. And you also have the option of making it and selling it on the marketplace. Now, as far as the items are concerned, this is the next talking point here. You're gonna get quite a few items by playing the game. There's an option to disassemble these items in order to get more materials that you're gonna use for crafting various items. So keep in mind, everything you gather, you don't necessarily need to sell it. Some things you do want to disassemble and extract to get more items in order to craft various other things that you may need in your gameplay. To do that, you wanna go to the smith. So this is Smith Burton. I don't know why I called him the smith. I guess he's gonna stay the smith now. These are some of the enhanced recipes, and here are some of the things that you need for it. So for example, you have a green axe. You want to upgrade it to a more rare version of the axe. So I guess green is uncommon and you want rare. This is where these items come in handy that you get from disassembling your other weapons that you find in order to make better equipment. In the game, there's something called essence as well. This essence is useful for crafting. It can also be sold though. So how to make something sellable? So items obtained by the player need to be converted before they can be sold on the marketplace. And this is basically the process. So I want to package this essence in order to craft it. I need to convert it into this. So I'll press the convert button, and just like that, it becomes a sellable item that I can now put onto the marketplace, but I cannot use it in game anymore. You obtain this by talking to Nolan. If you remember my previous video about Lumiterra, I told you we're gonna come back to Nolan at some point. This is what he is good for. He sells these packaging boxes, and you need those if you want your items to be sellable. Now, in my opinion, that's all you need to know about this system. Until you play the game, we're gonna figure out the little bits and pieces about it, but you can also check out their guide to see a little bit more in depth about how all this is gonna work. And for example, on level 1, what kind of packaging boxes you're gonna need. On level 9, what kind of packaging boxes you're gonna need. But for now, this is all you need to know about the sellable items. An important thing about the map to know is where the peaceful zones are, where the danger zones are, and where the chaos zones are. On certain parts of the map, there is places where PvP is permanently enabled, and other players can eliminate you whenever they want. And they're in their right to do so, because what are you doing in a danger or kill zone? Maybe you're seeking PvP. Well, that's different. If you are, the winning player can earn rewards, while the defeated player may drop all the items from their backpack. Woohoo! I would not like to be on the receiving end of this. So, peaceful zone, no PvP at all. In the danger zone, you can attack someone when you have the PvP switch on, and it doesn't matter if the other players have it on or off. And in the chaos zone, obviously, you can attack freely as much as you want, anyone and everyone. So here's some important notes. When you're eliminated in a dangerous or chaotic zone, there's a chance that your items in your backpack will drop, but the items in your storage will not be lost. So it's not 100% that you will lose all your items, like I originally thought. Finally, as far as the gameplay is concerned, you can also have pets. You need to upgrade the farming and livestock talent and get the capture skill. And then capturing requires a prop. The NPC Terrans can tell you how to capture a pet, but this is basically what it looks like. We're gonna try and capture this metal mud here, and it is going to become our pet, and we can use it as livestock. There's a full pet management interface here where we can see our metal mud, how it's doing, what level it is, what kind of abilities it has. There's various pet talents, and the pet system is pretty cool. You can also release it at some point if you choose to do so. The pets can also have eggs, so you can convert the metal mud into a pet egg, then it can be rehatched after being converted into a pet egg. You can use something called the power of nature in order to redefine your pet's potential in case you think your metal mud is not really up to its full potential. And the pet can follow you around, or you can choose to unfollow, but why would you do that? The pet can follow you around, super cool in my opinion. It's a very extensive list of things you can do here with the pet, so I would definitely recommend that just for the pet system, you go to their guide and you can find all the links in our Telegram group for this. So the whole pet system here is very extensive as to how deep all of this goes, and so this video is not over 3 hours long. We're gonna move on to the game professions, and we're gonna start with the combat. Combat is pretty self-explanatory. It's used to fight all the monsters inside of the game. Upgrading the experience points at the beginning at least costs 0 Lua, but it does require experience points. At later levels, it will also require some Lua. There's various things you can use in the combat menu that will help you during your gameplay. Now, it's very important to read through what each skill does before you choose that skill, before you choose to unlock that skill, because if you want to change that skill into another skill, you will need to pay in the Lua tokens, and you don't want to do that. So be very careful and mindful about which skills you level up first. Basically, the same exact system goes for gathering, the gathering talent, and then also the farming talent. These three industries are interlocked and intertwined. You need all of them. I think the combat is going to be the most important in the very beginning, but you will need all of them at some points. If you want to level up your gear, for example, you want to have better gear for combat, you do need to craft some things. You need to gather even more things, and then you also need to farm some things. So you do need to level up all three of them pretty equally. So as far as the gathering skill is concerned, it's to gather trees, rocks, things like that throughout the world. And farming, it's pretty self-explanatory. You farm, you go in a field like a madman, like a maniac. You put that hoe into the ground, and then you plant the seeds into the ground that's been hit by the hoe. Then you water it many, many times. Eventually it grows, and eventually it gives you some fruits or vegetables, and you can use them for crafting. Onwards and upwards to the most important part of the video that you all wanted to see, the token tasks. Let's go to the token tasks. How do you receive a token task? Well, you press escape, or you go to the menu here, and you have something called the token tasks. Now, here are some random tasks, and on top of that, we have a token tasks here. So we can also get token tasks within the random tasks. If you've ever played Pixels, it does have a similar vibe to that, where I can finish one of these quests, and then instead of this, I can get a token quest next. As far as how many tokens you're gonna get, the higher your level, the higher the amount obtained, the higher the amount of tokens you can obtain. You will also get experience points for token tasks, and the most important thing here to keep in mind is the luck points. The higher the luck points, the higher the probability of spawning a token task. The maximum luck points will increase with your level. So you can always have more and more luck points. You do want to invest as much as you can into the luck points. So keep this in mind. If you want to get token tasks, you want to invest into the luck points. And this is the screen we saw before. So we have 2 token tasks right here, 2 token quests from the random quests. And on top of that, the actual token task here for 25 tokens and a little bit more experience as well. And then also we got 20 luck points. So we get 20 luck points for each of these. So you do want to finish this, and you do want to get as many luck points as you can. You want to level up your luck. The random tasks refresh every 15 minutes with chance of getting a token task. There are 3 types of tasks you can get. It can either be a combat, gathering, or farming task, or if you already have these materials here, you can just manually submit and finish the task right away. Now, there's something called a token task refresh ticket, where you can 100% refresh a token task. If you don't like what you're getting here, if you think it's too time consuming, you can use this ticket to refresh it completely. It's valid for 3 days, and you get it by entering and completing a PVE dungeon. You can also get it by various other ways, like daily points from the leaderboard. Players have a chance to earn the ticket. The higher your rank, the more tickets you can obtain. And now, as far as the task system is concerned, it's pretty similar to the token tasks, where you just open your task. They're gonna show up on the left side here off your screen. Most of the time, you get an item and some experience as rewards. And then you have the daily tasks, and here you can pick whether you want to gather, a farm, or a combat task to choose from. And then, of course, we have the bounty tasks, and the bounty tasks give you lots of experience, plus you can get a lucky bonus here. So here we need need to turn in 2 energy slimes, and we learned at the beginning of the video how we get energy slimes. So we turn in 2 energy slimes here, and we have completed 1 bounty task, and we have received 147 experience points. Now, depending on which type of task we're doing, if we're doing a combat task, we're going to receive combat skill experience, where we can level up the combat skill, and then the same goes for farming and gathering. Finally, we have the PvE and PvP mechanics. So we have already gotten through the PvP and how the PvP works, but as far as dungeons are concerned, in the beta version, from level 1 to 4, we have the Flower Peak dungeon. From level 4 to 7, we have the Floating Realm, and 7 to 9, finally, we have the Ancient Domain. Each member of your team that does the dungeon needs to come prepared with the necessary instance materials, like in any other MMORPG. If anyone of the team does not meet the requirements, the team cannot enter the instance or the dungeon. So you can get those tickets either by completing a certain quest. That's how most MMOs do it. In the dungeons, as players progress through the chapters, they receive increasingly advanced and diverse rewards, and then these rewards include experience, NFTs like equipment and materials obtained by defeating monsters, gathering, and from chapter completion rewards. And then in the extra rewards, each player randomly receives a different rare material and equipment NFT. But this is what it looks like when we want to join the Flower Peak dungeon, for example, and we have a team of 5 players. We just challenge the dungeon boss here. Here are the level rewards. We're gonna get a bunch of cool and interesting items that we're gonna need later on. There are solo dungeons as well, as you can see, a level 2 to 4, Junior Solo Arena. This is PvP, and in the Flower Peak is PvE. So you're gonna be mindful of which dungeon you choose. Do you want to play PvP or PvE? So PvE is player versus environment, and PvP player versus player, if you did not know that. And then, for example, this PvP arena offers a bonus of 97 Lua tokens. Lots of different ways to do play to earn inside of this game. So hopefully now you have a much better understanding of how Lumiterra is going to work. This video took way too long to record. I hope you appreciate that. Leave a like if you do. Thanks for watching. I'm leaving.